So we'll start with the nociception. So what nociception is actually?
It's just like pain. It's like pain transmissions. Really, we send.
Yeah, nociception is in which you get the noxious stimuli.
Yeah.
And noxious stimuli is like that is harmful. So because that's harmful stimuli, so in response for that stimuli, three like impulses go through and respond to the according to the stimuli. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nociception occurs with like through four steps like transduction, transmission, perception, and modulation. So first is transduction. What do you understand by the word transduction?
My notes just say it's a change in mechanical, chemical, or physical stimuli to an action potential. So they take like the stimuli and then turn it into an action potential so that it can be transmitted.
So they take stimuli and turn into the impulses so that they can transfer impulses in form of the action potential so that they can transfer by like the process of transmission.
Okay.
So transduction actually means transducing. So it means it transduces the impulses or make the impulses.
Okay.
Right. So in transduction, what they actually do is they turn prostaglandins into acetonic acid, which forms and then which forms phospholipase A. Phospholipase A then turns acetonic acid back to that prostaglandin when the information needs to be inhibited.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Prostaglandin to the what's it called?
So here. So what is happening? They got the stimulus, right? They turn prostaglandin into acetonic acid. This is what is happening, right?
Okay.
So this turns into this, and then with the process of cyclogenesis. Because here phospholipase A is produced. So this is an enzyme, right? So when this prostaglandin turns into acetonic acid, an enzyme is produced that is phospholipase A, which by the process of cyclogenesis turns this acetonic acid back to prostaglandin.
Okay. So you have the stimulus, turns into the prostaglandin, then it turns it into the
stimulus.
Or it produces.
Turns prostaglandin. Due to the stimulus, prostaglandins are turned into
and
acetonic
it turns into the acetonic acid.
Yeah.
Which then produces the phospholipase.
Due to all this, phospholipase A is produced.
Okay. And then by the process of that
Cyclogenesis, it
turns the C to F.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because the impulses are produced and they need to be inhibited too. So they transduce and then they turn it back. Does that make sense? Okay. The second is what? Transmission.
Transmission, yeah.
What is transmission?
That's where like the pain impulse is sent.
Yeah. So impulses are made, but how they will be sent, it's the process of transmission. So transmission occurs to by two processes. One is so they go by the tracks, right? There are 3 tracks. Which 3 tracks?
So the afferent, interpretive, and efferent pathways.
They are pathways. They're not tracks.
The spinal fluid.
Thalamic tract and. Oh, that's a terrible brain. this is the brain.
Okay.
Okay. So spinal thalamic tract will be what? Which is the spinal thalamic tract?
The spinal cord.
Yeah. So spinal thalamic tract. Right? Does that make sense?
So the spinal
Got until like you can say lumbar region,
Okay.
and then palospinal is like it goes down to.
Okay.
Okay. And the like here, mostly the impulses they have like A delta fibers. So what's the difference between A delta fibers?
The what fibers?
A delta fibers?
Oh, the A delta. Those they transmit like with big, specific pain waves.
Okay.
Right.
And what C do?
The
C fibers.
is more like smaller impulses. They're unmyelinated.
Yeah, that's the difference. They're unmyelinated, so they process the information like slowly, and they like cover 20 meters per second. Yeah, 2 meters per second.
And the A delta is more like reflex, like.
And this covers like 2 meters per second. 20 meters per second.
Okay.
So this is like they transfer information really fast and they like slowly. So if we call helix or stuff, they are like mostly with the C fibers. And our body is 90% of C fibers.
Okay.
Alright. But in this part, A delta fibers will be present. Like all the impulses from here will be done by the A delta fibers, and they have some C fibers here, here. Some, I don't know. But most of this part is like A delta fibers.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This is what transmission is.
Okay.
Third is perception.
That's when you like perceive that you
Yep.
have pain.
That's how you perceive that, like, okay, you can sense pain, right? And in perception, mostly you need to understand is like pain tolerance. So what is pain tolerance?
Just like the maximum amount of pain that you can.
That's a maximum level of pain that a person can bear, and it varies from person to person. So what level is like the level of pain I can bear you may not be able to bear, or what you can bear maybe I cannot bear.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are more sensitive or prone to the pain, and some are like they can bear a lot, like they can bear the high level. So it differs from person to person. And pain threshold, what's that?
That's like the amount of action potentials that it.
Mm-hmm. What is
Like
threshold?
how many it takes this stimulated action potential.
If I say this is the set point. Okay. So what is the threshold right here?
Is that just up to the
What is the threshold?
threshold? Is it the top then?
The speak.
Oh, it's a peak.
Okay. This is the normal range,
Okay.
right? And this is the threshold. This is right? So we have normal range and we have threshold. Like the level from where like if you go up, that's abnormal. Or
Okay.
and from if you like go deviate from the normal range, that actually causes abnormal. So pain threshold is like the level above the set point.
Okay.
And last is
Modulation.
modulation.
I don't know what that is.
So modulation is like because we understood that how pain is transferred, right? What carries pain, but by what medium they go, like what carry them. Impulses are made, so now they need to go. How will be this like if we go, we walk by our feet, right? Or sometimes we use transportations like car
Mhm.
or bike or whatever.
Mhm.
So bike is type example of modulation. It's like that is carrying us.
Mm-hmm.
So how those impulses are carried, so we will talk about the gate and control theory that will help you understand modulation too.
Okay.
So gate and control theory only says that there are like the impulses, the receptor cells have the gate, they have the gates. Once the gate is open, the receptor cells can go in. I mean the impulses can go in.
Mm-hmm.
And when the gate is closed, no impulses cannot go in. So this is the gate and control theory, that gate controls the impulses.
Okay.
When gate is open, only that impulses can go in. So our receptor cells always has what? Our cells has always a receptor sites, right? For example, this is a gate. Is closed. Right, so this is the gate.
Okay.
Endorphin will mostly be like present right here because endorphin act like a gate.
Okay.
Right. So what endorphins do is just sense the impulses like pain stimulus that is coming in, opens the gate, carries the impulses and inhibit it.
Okay.
This is what's happening. This is like endorphin is right here, and when pain impulses are coming, for example, these are the cells. You got this impulse right here. It's like connected with other neurons. So what happened is you got the impulses, and these impulses are carried by opioids. Do you know what's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are carried by different opioids. And opioids, what like they do is like bring them right here, and if endorphins sense the opioids, like with the impulses, he can sense that they are pain impulses. So he kind of like acts like you can say security guard, that it's on the gate, it will check that what identity you have. If you have correct identity to enter, it will let you enter.
Okay.
So when endorphins sense the impulses, like when the opioids come and attach to it, it sends the impulses that are pain impulses. If they're pain impulses, this gate opens.
Okay.
Impulses go in, and because impulses are coming right here from like continuously, so it needs to inhibit and from the time like when the response is produced.
Okay.
So when it produces, the response is closes the gate so that we don't need to produce a response again.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then those impulses are transferred to the CNS, and then
Yeah, and the response.
and then we have a response to that.
Yes.